I'm about to do something that no one in the AI space is doing. Everyone is talking about tools, but tools will continue to get better. That was never your edge. Your edge is how you think about them and how you use them. And that's exactly why today we're gonna talk about workflow thinking. This is the framework that will allow you to win in the age of AI. My name is George Moffett. I'm the founder of Arash AI Agency. We help businesses maximize efficiency and growth with the use of AI. Why does your business feel slow even though everyone on your team is busy? Like, what is happening? There's something that is fundamentally wrong, and I didn't notice that, but thinking and understanding that we all have 24 hours, our only leverage cannot be how hard we work, but being able to understand what other advantages we have. And this is where this framework starts, and it truly makes sense because only effort is not your edge. A good workflow is. And let me show you a boring process that I run every week that is super necessary for the success of that specific business, and is affiliate onboarding, right? The process always looks the same. From point A to point Z is always the same process. So we receive a message on Slack. From that message, the message contains a document. From that document, we extract that information, we put it on our internal CRM, then we move it to a different software, that same information to a different software, so we can make sure that the quality of the lead is good, that we have certificates so that we can be TCPA compliant, as well as that we also make sure that we don't have that lead in the system so that we don't have duplicate leads. And at the end, we have a part that has to do with testing and sending those posting specs to the affiliate. So all of that process is always the same process, and it needs to happen for us to succeed. Like, it's a really important process, but there is no thinking in that process. We don't need a human in that process because it can be done by a machine. And a lot of businesses, and most businesses, have processes like this that are extremely important for the business, but they don't need any critical thinking. And if you truly break down that system, you're able to automate that process. And that is one of the biggest advantages and levers that you can pull to free up your talent to do different things. And that is where workflow thinking truly starts. And this is not something that just helps you with AI and thinking on AI, but being able to map that out allows you to create amazing SOPs. And the only thing worse than not having an SOP is having a bad SOP. And this is gonna allow us to move to the next section of our video, that is how clear we're able to communicate the result that we want and the steps that need to happen for us to get to that result. And the best way to think about this is as different actions that followed one after another on a specific sequence allow you to achieve an outcome that you desire. And us moving into this next section of workflow thinking, something that I didn't know I was gonna learn with AI that I learned was communication. AI is extremely cutthroat if you don't communicate clearly and if you don't explain what you want and the steps that need to happen for you to get your specific outcome. It will do a good job, obviously. It will be decent if you give a vague instruction. But to truly maximize the use of AI, you need to be specific and you need to be able to communicate clearly your idea, your thought process, and in this case, your workflow. What needs to happen on all of these points for us to get to this outcome, and what does a good outcome look like? And this is, I still haven't mastered the art of hiring or communicating with people yet. I am working really hard on that. But when my sister is helping me record, and we go out and I tell her like, record better, or I talk to the editor and I'm like, I need a better video. Like, I am not giving them any feedback or giving them any information, and I am not providing them with any information for them to improve. So it's really hard. And AI is the exact same way. And I think a lot of people miss that. They just say like, do this better, but AI doesn't know what is better. Your favorite car might be an Audi R8. I love Maseratis, and there's another person that is gonna like a Ferrari. For all of us, that might be a beautiful car, right? But being able to describe what we want as an outcome and what are the specific steps that we must take to get to that outcome, that's when we're gonna get the most about AI. Obviously, yes, then you can ask it, hey, how can I improve this process? Or you know what the outcome I have is, and this is my process. Is there something to do it faster? But being able to communicate clearly is one of the biggest advantages that AI has taught me, and that if you're able to use that communication to create workflow thinking with AI, you will be ahead of most people because you are able to explain in inputs and outputs what you want. And something that I wanted to highlight is that a vague instruction breaks a person as well as it does AI. So if you don't communicate clearly, the goal will not be achieved. If you like this video, like this video. We talked about repetitive processes that were happening. And now the reason I was extremely emphasizing on that is because the advantage of the human in the age of AI is gonna be critical thinking and thinking on how to problem solve and use the technology to problem solve. I'm gonna give you a really quick example on the things that I did to record this video that now that I'm gonna be posting more consistently, they have to become a workflow where I still interfere, and other parts that most of them are the things that I don't wanna do that AI does for me. The overall idea, I sit down and I'm like, what is something that would truly transform the way people see AI and the tool? And that's something that I have to sit down and share and truly think through so that it becomes valuable. Because if I go and I'm sure that you have done this in the past, that you're like, hey, give me 10 ideas for X, Y, or Z, or help me out with X, Y, or Z. And then the outcome is just like super generic. I'm like, what is something that is truly valuable that I can share that has helped me utilize AI in a different way? And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, since I still don't have skill of hiring as developed and that skill of training as developed, I'm like, this is something that I am doing to maximize the technology. Because also with the speed that we are doing things, like even onboarding and finding talent is hard. So even if you do have that skill, like, it's hard. So having the ability to be like, what can be automated and what is able to be delegated. In the case of this video, I had the idea, and then based on that, I created a presentation that is HTML. I just went into Claude and told it, can you please help me create this outline for this video on HTML and allow me to edit in this presentation? And can you do it with the brand guidelines so that I can just go and record the video? So I did the thinking, but I didn't have to go and do the presentation. Then after that, I get the ability to revise it and to be in front of the camera. But once we finish this process, it's gonna be edited by AI by looking at the transcript and by looking at the timestamps, and then it's gonna be posted by AI. And the reason I am telling you all of this is that there's parts in this process that is like, can I automate the whole process? And if I cannot automate the whole process, like which parts of the process is where you still need critical thinking, where do you still need the human, and the other parts you are able to delegate. And this is something that Hormozy says, that is like, as long as it's humans and machines against humans, like the human plus the better machine will always win. And that is what I am trying to get out of this. So it's not if you can automate it or if you cannot automate it, but how much of it you can automate so you can maximize your time and your resources, like your mental capacity and your focus and your critical thinking goes into the things that only you can do. And I look at this process the exact same way that I look at training someone. That is, you do it first while they're looking at you, then they do it and you look at them, and then they're able to step away. You would go through the exact same process with AI. And once they can understand it, you can either automate it or delegate it. And this thought process works on everything that you do. Computer, non-computer, that is you being an expert and you not being an expert on AI, but being an expert on your career and being scared of AI and feeling like you're falling behind, it's probably the biggest advantage that you have. And because people do not know how to ask AI for what they want. So without spoiling absolutely everything we're gonna talk about on the next video, is that people cannot communicate and they cannot share how to run a P&L. They cannot share, if you're a videographer, how you're supposed to put the lower thirds, how you're supposed to edit the video. Like, knowledge that you believe it's basic, people that just know AI, they don't understand. And that actually has been one of the biggest issues whenever I am working with developers or AI engineers or people that know a lot about AI. They don't have context about business or about roles or about how does it apply to the real world. And I'm gonna show you a real world example of workflow thinking, but I also wanna give you I'm really happy for you that you don't know AI and that you know many other things, because that is your biggest advantage. So do I want you to have urgency and agency about AI and that you need to use it? Yes, obviously. But the truth is that today, on 2026, AI cannot do what you do on your critical thinking. It doesn't have your experience. It doesn't have your proof. It doesn't have your business and your career. So that is what makes you different. And by learning about AI, I have learned so many other things that I was doing wrong, that I was expecting people to understand me without me being able to communicate clearly, but being able to map each one of the steps and have an SOP and have a process that is the actual process, not just a process that I believe in my head, but that even a computer is able to follow. That is when you're able to start systematizing your company. You're gonna be able to move faster, and the people that you hire, like that talent that you have inside of your company, is able to take advantage of the tools and do what you hire them for. So now that you understand workflow thinking, go and take the world by storm.